Guys, what is happening? The fights are going down in Newark. I am on campus in Bristol. So, having a great time. Just kind of setting the stage for you for where I'm at. But every now and then there's an energy from the building. And I bring that to you guys, and that part's going to be missing today. I just got to tell you, we just had a fight. And it was coming on the back of another fight. Okay, so let's back up to the undercard. Main event of the undercard is a very one-sided affair. I'm watching a room full of people, and I got 15 people, but that's a great focus group for anything you want to do in life. You could get up and tell a joke, and then look around that room, 15 people. What'd you think of the joke? What'd you think of the delivery? How was the material? Like, it's a really good focus group. So you could go take that to the world. But I'm specifically with sports experts and fight experts. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to see. It was a very clear and unanimous decision. All 3 rounds. Well, it ends up being a split decision, and I bring that to you because it comes down to a question of control. Like, what I'm telling you is not an opinion I'm sharing with you in terms of control. It's the story of the fight. He took him down, and then he proceeded to control him the entire time, and you can rinse and repeat that over and over for 15 minutes. This is just what happened. So you do have a question, and you have always had a question about what kind of credit do you get for control. And it's a wildly frustrating, but also philosophical and fascinating conversation. Like, the referee, or judge rather, that gave it for the other guy is Chris Lee. That's a very good judge. I've never called Chris Lee out. I'm not calling him out now. Like, he has a way to go. He has a way where he can state a takedown is worth nothing. Now, that is a very wild premonition by me. It is a wild premonition, not as a wrestler. I have a black belt in jiu-jitsu. In fact, it wasn't wrestling that got me going after this sport. It was watching Royce Gracie and jiu-jitsu. And I tell you that just to share my biases, my obvious bias, but to let you know that I don't think I speak from a bias standpoint. And everything we know about the sport that we got from Royce, from that introduction, from that time frame, Royce himself stopped doing the sport when they put rounds in, when they started bringing you to your feet, because Royce himself was admitting that the bottom position is not where you want to be. And in his fights, largely he ended up there because he wasn't able to get on top, and he wasn't able to get on top because he took on such great big guys. I mean, it was part of the story, but that right there lets us know that top position is the preferred and better position. Now, that's a philosophy, and you may not agree with it. There's been a number of people that say a takedown does nothing. And I just find that to be a fascinating statement, considering the technique and effort that went into it, considering understanding how few fights are won from the bottom unless they are won by a submission. And moreover, when you have a unified system, it starts with damage, number one, but it then goes to control. So now you've got very obvious control. And to suppose that somehow is enough, I don't understand that concept. It's been widely believed that submission attempts are worth something. And that seems like an easier philosophy to break down, right? If I throw a perfect punch, I'm trying to knock you out, and I did everything right. I sized you, I measured, I turned over, I turned my hip, I pointed my thumb down, I put the power in, and it misses. How are you going to tell me I should get any credit for that? Because I tried to hit you? I mean, if we're juxtaposing that in a round where that is all that happens is I tried to hit you, I never do. You never hit me, but you never tried to hit me. Well, now we do have a little bit of a discussion, but do you see where this gets really weird? I mean, to make believe that control doesn't matter or a takedown doesn't matter, for somebody on the outside to say that, you have the two masters, right? You have the two experts. That's the red corner and the blue corner. They're in the ring, and they don't agree with you. They do not agree with you. The guy that is down did not want to be down, but he is. The guy that's on top chose to put the fight in that area, trained, prepared, and then went out and executed. So to make believe that it's a nothing is a very fascinating statement. In fact, this was ruled in California In Andy Foster's time, I don't know the year, but it was in Andy's time. I gotta say, I think 2014, 2015, about slams. And Andy said, if you're grappling, you're gonna have a grappling tournament in California, have your tournament, don't slam anybody. Why can't I slam anybody? Well, the state of California regulates any unarmed combat that involves a blow. If there is not a blow, kickboxing, boxing, mixed martial arts. If there is not a blow, we do not regulate it. And if you slam somebody, that is a blow. If you bring them down to the ground hard, the surface is hitting that person. That's a blow, and we'll step in and regulate. And it was a fascinating concept, and it was wildly powerful, and many people missed it. But it does speak to the idea of saying a takedown is nothing. First off, it's control, which is the number 2 thing on the rules. But according to the rules of one of the top jurisdictions out there, based on how you got the takedown, it also involves damage. It's food for thought. And I'm sharing that with you. We move to the next fight, first fight of the main card, we have an eye poke, of which is called. A timeout is called, but the athlete is not given his 5 minutes to recover. If the referee is the one that called the time, the referee does not get to end that time, the athlete does, and he gets up to 5 minutes to do it. He wasn't given 5 seconds to do it. I'm being a little nitpicky, sure. But these fights come down to inches, right? Who got more sleep? Who ate better? Who ran 3 miles instead of 2.9? It's one of these things. So now if you're telling me that we're not going to follow the rules that are in place, it might sound nitpicky, but it's a big deal that we at least all are consistent and understand what's happening here.